Hi again. This is Soti. Um, Today I want to talk a little bit more about the question that a lot of people ask, who am I? Who we are? For especially for Buddhist practitioner, you know, that question always come up after we study, after we do the practice, for a while. Then that question come up because of the the non-self principle that we got into. Then since at the end we found out that okay, we are not the body and we are not the mind, right? Because in Buddhism, if you I think you probably familiar with it, the body and the mind that we ordinary people identify ourselves with. But in Buddhism, the Buddha denied the real I, the Atman. Okay, that we identify ourselves with the body and the mind. So since we're not the body and we're not the mind, okay, so who are we really? Okay, so that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. Um, and just like in my previous video, like I said in the you and your mind, and previous video, we know that we build our personality, build our characters based on our experiences throughout our life since childbirth. When we are born and we take up life, right, and then we start accumulating experiences, and all those experiences that we store them in our memory. So this, and based on the memory, we use that memory to expand, to gather more information, to make decision, and the rest is history. Everything is based on previous experiences, and all those experiences are stored in our memory. So we can say that we are pretty much memory. You know, that's literally that's who we are. In terms of a physical physical being. When identify ourselves in the physical world here, that's who we are. We are memory, pretty much. There's nothing else. There's nothing else that we can really say about who we really are. And memories, there are many levels of memories. According to what the Buddha taught. The memory that I'm talking about here is the material world memory. The memory is based on experiences that we accumulated over our lifetime. Okay, but there are also other memories that we are not really aware of, or we're not accumulating from this lifetime, and those are like let's say genetic memory, that coming from from the DNA of our parents, and also there are karmic memory, and those are the memories that come from previous lives. So those, I'm not talking about those memory because those are at very thorough level. What I'm talking about for us ordinary people who that we identify ourselves these days, we are pretty much memories, and we are memories of this physical world. So in other words, see, the way we got to recognize everything around us, the people we know, our parents, our brothers and sisters, co-workers and friends, right? uh, Belongings, properties, and all that, it's they all based on memories. If anything change, the memory, when we, let's say we see something, we look at something, if anything that is not the same as what we have stored in a memory, we know something is different. That's so based on that, that's how we identify who we are. We get to know things based on our memories. Okay, so like no, now another word that we can look at it is, if we don't have the memories, and who are we really? Just like I said before in the previous video, um, like the baby, when the baby was born, the baby was pure and innocent in a way, because the baby have not stored anything in memory yet. And but there is life there, life is already there. It's just that there is no ego, I that we identify ourselves with. So, and let's say if we grow older, and there are also other way that we can look at it. I like to bring up the case of health issue, sickness. Especially for people who have dementia, Alzheimer disease, and all those that happen in older people, like in senior people, or could be our parents. Hopefully not, but it happened in the many cases. So in case of dementia and like or Alzheimer's disease and things like that, see, we look at the person, our parents or whoever. You see if you look at it from the physical perspective, the body is functioning there, but the mind is not. You see, so when look at it from that way, how do we identify a person? Okay, so now the question is, do we identify a person by the physical, by the look, or by the mind? Or is it or maybe both? Okay, because we know, let's say, a parent based on the physical that we see, and also based on the memory that they have. When the memory is still intact, they recognize you based on their memory. Okay, so when the memory is gone, they don't recognize us anymore. They don't recognize you anymore. Okay, so what does that mean? um, where is that person? Is the person still there, or the person is gone? Right? See, that's a very tough question that a lot of people have a lot of difficulties with. See, a body is just a body. That's why when in Buddhism, we don't literally identify ourselves with the body nor the mind. You see, that's what non-self is all about. You cannot identify who we are with the body or with the mind, because those are impermanent, and they're subject to change and then break down and finish. So who are we then? That's what I'm talking about. So who are we? Okay, if we cannot identify ourselves with the body, and if we cannot identify ourselves with the mind, who are we? Literally, we are just memories. Okay, now let's say if you lose the memory of a certain thing. Okay, let's say you remember the face of your parents, your children, your dog, or whatnot. If you lose that part of the memory, you won't recognize that person. So that's what I'm talking about. We are pretty much memories. That's all who we are. We are. There's nothing else to it. If you if you think about it, through and through, everything that we do is based on that. Okay, so that's one way of looking at it, about who we are. Okay, this is my perspective. Okay, so that's what I like to share with you today, with just a little snippet, a little um idea, little thing that I have to share with you, which I believe that's what people are, confused about, about finding out, who we are, especially for Buddhist practitioner, when they study deeper and deeper into the Dharma and try to find who we are, trying to find the purpose of life and all that stuff, that question always comes up, who am I? And that's the answer, you know, the memories that we have and the memories that others have about us. That's literally that's there's nothing else to it, you know. So what kind of memories that you want to leave behind? See, that's the thing. All right. Would you like to leave a good memory or a bad memory? You know, and those are the things. So when you come down to that point, when you get to understand, okay, the physical world, okay, it's impermanent, anicca, it's always changing, nothing is the same, nothing remains the same. Thoughts come from the mind, and the mind's always changing, they say the same. So you cannot identify, you cannot anchor yourself on those two, body and mind. So memories. That's why, there are a lot of quotes that say, don't, whatever you do, whatever your action, your karma that you do with whoever, the last person or the last event, or the last person you meet, you would always want to leave a good impression, right? A good thing, because that's all there is. You leave the person with a memory. What kind of memory you want to leave with the person that you meet right now? Okay, because you never know, you will probably never see the person again, right? So that's what it comes down to, that the memory that we leave, I pretty much say about who we are. And that's all there is to it. There's nothing else that is really, that you can really hang your hat on, about who we are. And that's my conclusion. My conclusion is we are memories, nothing else. All right, that's a short video that I like to share with you today. All right.